Part 2 of one of my longest rants ever. So nice, I have to do it twice. Which means a nice double fuck you to the YouTube order, even though this is about Bungie Vision and their community being a whole bunch of assholes. So here's where we are. Yesterday, I detailed all the mistakes that Bungie Vision has made with Destiny and the pricing issue that have gotten the smarter players completely pissed off, and the promotion of their next DLC, which has gone wrong in almost every single turn. But today, the attention turns to the fan base, which goes right to the top of the most brain-dead community for any video game. You know, it's really fucking pathetic that people that play this game with me don't know their foot from their ass, and they actually protect some of the shit that Bungie Vision has done when it comes to this game. So naturally, I have to tear into people who defend this shit. Now, we have to understand something first. Destiny does not have a game on the market to be compared to in full. Unlike Call of Duty and Battlefield, World of Nerdcraft, and EverQuest, I don't know, whatever that shit is, Skyrim, the Dragon Age, whatever the fuck it is, there is no game on the market similar to Destiny. It's a shared world shooting game that has similarities to a number of games. Mass Effect, Grand Theft Auto, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Skyrim, etc. There is no game that you can look at and say, this is a perfect rival to compare Destiny to, because it takes a little bit out of all of those games. It tries to be its own game, but it picks up pieces from almost every other game on the market. And that is one of Destiny's biggest problems, is that it tries to do everything, but it doesn't excel at anything other than shooting mechanics. So comparing Destiny is an impossible task, because there is nothing to fully compare it to. But as a whole, you can compare Destiny to certain parts of other games. There are certain games you can compare it to, and certain games you can't compare it to. You can compare Destiny when it comes to shooting mechanics versus shooting mechanics to Call of Duty. Fine, two shooter games, let's compare shooting mechanics. But when it comes to the actual campaign, when it comes to the open world shit, no, you then can't compare these two. You can compare Destiny's open world to Skyrim's open world, because let's be honest, they both have open world games that allow you to play against shit. You can compare the co-op section, like the strike missions, to co-op sections of maybe Mass Effect 3. We had co-op in one mode, we have co-op in this mode. The arena is probably more realistic because that was co-op versus waves and shit like that, but you get the idea. You can't compare all of Destiny to all of Grand Theft Auto. You can't compare all of Destiny to all of Assassin's Creed, and that's where a lot of flaws come in. People will compare the wrong fucking things compared to Destiny. You can compare Destiny's price model, yes, compare it to something, but when you compare it to World of Nerdcraft, you have a subscription-based model versus a non-subscription-based model. So there are certain things in which you can compare Destiny and you can't. And that's where a lot of people fuck up on. Because the first thing to touch on is the number of idiots who blindly follow Bungie Vision. Whether they're slurping on that schlong or licking that asshole, there are people who will defend this with some of the most illogically stupid arguments you will ever see. Anything from, it's only $60 or it's only $20 to, I played 500 hours in this game so I got my money's worth. In almost every instance, the argument comes from uneducated kids or brain-fucked adults who don't understand value, or make the horribly irrelevant and illogical comparisons of what value actually is. The best example was one of these jackass Bungie dedicated channels that said the cosmetic items for $20 was in line with other prices for games. Oh, League of Legends offers you a monkey's ass for $25, or oh, Call of Duty charges $4 to look like Captain Price, and World at War charges you $20 to make your Pandy Bear look like a Wookiee. Yet the best part of this, not one of those games has a price model similar to Destiny. Outside of Call of Duty, all the other games that were mentioned were PC games, were either large-scale MMOs with subscription fees or MOBAs with assholes fighting each other online with cartoon characters. I don't get those fucking games. But in any event, those are all games with very little in common with Destiny. Bungie Vision has gone out of their way to avoid classifying Destiny as an MMO, because it's not. Yet, they want to price everything like it's an MMO. Meanwhile, for the $20 Barbie doll dress-up items they want to charge you for, this asshole seems to forget that we just fucking paid $20 for an unlock pack. Yep, an unlock pack, which had numerous gameplay items like missions, weapons, armor, ships, new enemies with that Skolas motherfucker, the arena, trials, and shit like that. For $20, you can get the House of Wolves. For another $20, you can get 3 fucking dance moves. This asshole avoids the in-game comparison because it would completely shit on his line of argument. He uses the MMO world to compare Destiny, yet Destiny is not an MMO and comes with a fraction of content compared to something like World of Warcraft. We do not have a monthly subscription fee. World of Warcraft has a monthly subscription fee. The comparison to Call of Duty is also pretty laughable, because even with their overpriced rip-off map packs, Call of Duty is mainly an online PvP game where all you see are maps and you see them often. Destiny is not a Crucible-only comparison, because if that were the case and Destiny were to sell their only online map pack, their Crucible maps for $15, then you have a comparison towards this in Call of Duty. But if you're going to try and compare cosmetic item to cosmetic item in one game compared to the other, it doesn't work like that. Because they say, oh, you get 9 items for $20, so here's the value. Well, what happens if you only have one character? What happens if you only use a hunter or a warlock or a titan? Now it's only 3 fucking items for $20 fucking, and it's fucking pointless because of idiots like this. Because the majority of Destiny fans who keep giving Bungie Vision money are blind sheep. I have to give some math and business lessons here. Value of a game. It is a noun, not a verb. When determining the property value of something, that's a formula, that's math, and it can be universally measured or proven. When I talk about the value of Destiny, I'm talking about math. Concrete, substantiated numbers. Value, the verb, is an action. I value your opinion. I value our time together. I value hard work and effort. Subjective value is essentially an opinion. How much interest or importance do you place on something? And this is something that is immeasurable. You can't measure opinion. You can't measure like and dislike. And it is not what I use to determine value. And the unfortunate thing is that dumbass thinks that is the only definition of value compared to what I discussed. When you look at property value, when you can get value out of something by comparing it to its peers, that's how you measure value. If you compare Destiny to any other game on the market, you can get an idea of the value. Destiny came with 20 missions they called a story. It came with no fucking story. It had 5 or 6 strike missions depending on your console. Came with a raid, 4 explorable planets, 22 exotic guns, countless other guns and armors in the game. Those are unique items in the game. In comparison to a game like Mass Effect or Skyrim, this doesn't even come close. You can complete all of Destiny's unique content in a few hours. The campaign is quick, the strikes are fairly simple, you could rank up to a good level and do a raid all within about 10 hours of content. And if you wanted, you can do this on the multiple characters, but essentially it's the same content you're playing. Whether you play it as a hunter, whether you play it as a titan, you're gonna play the same exact 20 fucking missions in the same exact way. Obviously you'll have different powers, but it's the same fucking thing. Mass Effect alone has more side quests than Destiny has in content. Fallout 3 alone has more side quests than Destiny has main missions. Value-wise, from a content perspective, it's not even close. And you guys know how much I hate Bethesda, and even I can say that Fallout and Skyrim, 2 games you would never catch me dead playing, has more value than Destiny. They have more unique content and more things players can do that does not require a weekly reset to do it all over again. Those are 2 games I will never play in my life. I do not have any subjective value to those. However, they have more property value than Destiny. That's simple. Math will always trump opinion. Destiny's unique content is laughable compared to other games. It's repetitive, fun, but it's repetitive. So people turn around and say, well, I played 1,000 hours, so I got my money's worth. No, you got your subjective values worth, motherfucker. The time you spent on Destiny has nothing to do with property value. Nothing. And every fucking time someone wants to discuss value, 99 out of 100 times, it's some jackass talking about subjective value and rationalizing that their opinion is worth something. It's not. It will never be. They dismiss property value and ignore how you come to the result of property value because it shits all over their opinions. Opinions do not trump facts. But for little kids and jackasses, they can't accept that. They can't accept math. They can't accept that their opinion could potentially be proven wrong with a little bit of math. They can't fathom that value has a formula and can easily determine what something is actually worth. The time you spend on a game has to do with how much you like the game. I have 1,500 hours and I have enjoyed playing this, but property value wise, it is not the same worth as Skyrim. And I would never, ever play Skyrim. Time does not relate to how good or bad a game is. It only relates to how much you personally like the game. Now, we can compare apples to oranges between games because someone can make a mention that with a game there are only 5 chapters or 6 levels, and that's less than Destiny's 20 story missions. Sure, Final Fantasy 13 had chapters. I believe they had 11 chapters or whatever the hell it was. But each chapter lasted a few hours minimum, so time played has some level of factor, but that time is being counted towards unique content. In that time it takes to finish Destiny's 20 missions, I could probably only get through 3 or 4 chapters of a Final Fantasy game. All of it's unique, but Final Fantasy just has more to play. The only way time played would ever be considered towards value is if people rented a game. Let's say we can't own Destiny. Let's say it's the old Xbox policies. But with Destiny, you can pay for every day you log in. $3 a day to log in, $2 a day to log in, whatever the fuck you want to say. Now, you can say whether or not you got your money's worth based on time played. If you could beat the game in 20 hours and you only spent $9 doing it, then yes, you can make a case you got your money's worth. But if you logged in every day, wanted to get every gun, perk, attribute, collectible, and you had to pay $3 a day to do it, how much do you think the worth of that value is going to be? If you logged in every day for 1 month, that's $90. Is that worth the value? Shit, you can spend $1 on the game and play it consecutively for 9 fucking months. That's $2,700. Is that time worth the value? Time played in a game is never, ever going to amount towards any mathematical conclusion when it comes to property value. It will only come in hand if you're comparing how much time it took you to get through the unique content of a game. Your total time played in a game is only your opinion or subjective value of the game. Now, as for the argument, oh, it's only $20, it's only $4, get the fuck out of here. Another stupid ass argument that has no basis in truth or logic, and it's just more opinion. Besides people who genuinely do not have that kind of money, for adults, the amount is a drop in the bucket. It's peanuts compared to what we have to pay in other expenses. The issue again is the property value. Am I getting my values worth for what I pay? I just detailed that the expansion pack was not worth $20. The game was incomplete and not worth $60. So why would someone just pay $40 just because they have the fucking money? Imagine just paying for shit because you have the money. Society doesn't work like that. When people complain about price, it's not because they can't afford it. It's because they look at the property value and realize it's not worth the total cost. Now, at no point in this video have I said the product should be free or given to us, because I know Bungie Vision needs to make their money. I have not said yet, give me something for free. Every argument I have made from the beginning is about the value of Destiny and how does the value compare to its peers. How does the value Destiny offers as DLC compare to itself? But in order to stop pissing off fans, the only solution I see is that for anyone that has the original game, Season 1 pass, DLC, and gets the Taken King, then the Season 2 pass for the DLC should be free. Because let's be honest here for a second, Destiny sold shitloads of copies. While we don't have the net profit amounts, guesswork-wise, you can imagine Bungie Vision has already made their fucking money back in one way or another. You can imagine also that they've pissed off a ton of fans with all of their shitty pricing policies, and on top of the Taken King, we're probably going to be getting 2 more DLCs in the following year. If you go by that leaked picture that came out a few months ago, whatever the fuck it is, chances are there's going to be a Season 2 Season Pass, and that's also going to cost $35 for those who didn't buy the shit. So of course, Bungie Vision is going to be milking people out again. After spending $140 after you buy the Taken King, they're probably going to want another $20 for each map pack, bringing up the grand total to $180. This is basically going to be pissing off people as much as humanly possible. Value-wise, Destiny has always been overpriced. The Dark Below Unlock Pack was always overpriced. The House of Wolves Unlock Pack was always overpriced. The Collector's Barbie Doll items are fucking overpriced. And the $40 download based on prior examples of cost is also going to be overpriced. But idiots are going to buy it, you know they're going to pre-order, and they're going to get ripped off whether or not they realize it. So Bungie Vision really wants to make it up to their fans, really wants to show their fans, look, we realize you've paid a lot for this game, we appreciate it. Here is the Season 2 pack if you've paid for everything prior. If you've paid the $140 fucking dollars, if you bought the original game, if you bought the Season Pass, if you bought the Taken King all in one shot and paid the $140, here is the Season 2 pass. Now, if you went out and you bought the reduced priced content, you know, the $60 version that gets everything, no, you're going to have to pay for the Season 2 pass in full price. That way, they get all their money back. But for the people who have been with the game, the most loyal customers, that's how you make it up. Not this bullshit, oh, you're going to get some shaders and a sparrow. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. No, you're going to get a couple items in the game we're not going to tell you about until the game releases. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. If you really want to make people happy, you take a look at what we've paid in property value. You take a look at what our complaints have been as to how much the prices cost, as to how much it costs in foreign countries, the way they fucking ripping people off with the price exchange and shit like that, and say, you know what? We fucked up. We fucked up big time, and we're gonna give you this free content that doesn't cost you anything because you went out of your way to support this game over the past fucking year by paying full price for shit that was barely worth half the fucking price of admission. That's how you make it up to your customers. Whether or not Bungie Vision will do this, I highly fucking doubt it. You know why? Because it makes sense. It makes sense not to piss off your customers, but again, we're talking about Bungie Vision at this motherfucker, man. Anyway, that does it for Bungie Vision's public relations nightmare that they had over the past couple weeks. So as always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit, and I'll see you guys in the next video.